tell a story of power, architectural genius, and mystery, we have to look toward the 13th century at King MuTOTA, the founder of the MuTOTA Empire, located in modern-day Zimbabwe and Mozambique. His story isn't just about conquest. It's about a search for a vital resource that changed the course of southern African history. The Prince of Stone, the rise of MuTOTA. The story begins in Great Zimbabwe, the magnificent city of towering stone walls and winding corridors. MuTOTA was a prince of the Kingdom of Zimbabwe, but by the mid-1400s, the great city was choking. The grazing lands were depleted, and more importantly, the kingdom was running out of salt, the white gold of the medieval world used for preserving food and medicine. In 1430, MuTOTA led an epic expedition north toward the Zambezi River Valley in search of salt deposits. What he found was a land of incredible fertility and strategic advantage. The great conquest. MuTOTA didn't just find salt. He found a way to dominate the trade routes to the Indian Ocean. He conquered the local Shona factions, but he was a strategist, not just a butcher. He integrated the local tribes into his administration, earning him the title MuTOTA, which translates to Lord of the Conquered Lands or the Great Pillager, in a respectful, don't mess with him kind of way. The Empire of Gold and Ivory. Under MuTOTA's reign, the MuTOTA Empire became a global economic powerhouse. While Europe was recovering from the Middle Ages, MuTOTA's kingdom was architectural heirs. They continued the tradition of building dry stone walls, no mortar, that were so precise they survived for centuries. Global traders, they established massive trade networks with the Swahili coast. MuTOTA gold, ivory, and copper flowed to India, China, and eventually the early Portuguese explorers. The royal court, the king lived in a state of high ritual. He was considered a divine link between the ancestors and the living. When he ate, the entire court fell silent. When he moved, he was preceded by court musicians playing the mbira. The deep history, a legacy of resistance. The tragedy and depth of MuTOTA's history lie in what happened after his death. His son, MuTOTA, expanded the empire further, but the sheer wealth of the MuTOTA Empire eventually caught the eye of the Portuguese. For the next 2 centuries, MuTOTA's descendants fought a complex chess game against European influence. Unlike many other kingdoms, the MuTOTA kings were savvy diplomats, often playing different Portuguese factions against each other to keep their sovereignty for as long as possible. Why his story matters. MuTOTA represents a period of African history that was highly organized, urbanized, and economically dominant before the colonial era. He proved that a kingdom's strength wasn't just in its walls, but in its ability to control trade and provide for its people's basic needs, starting with a simple grain of salt. Would you like me to dive deeper into the architectural secrets of the stone cities they built, or perhaps explore the life of another king like Mansa Musa?